All right, so in this video, we have Eric Griffin, who people would probably know from Workaholics or The Golden Hour with Brendan Schaub. That's pretty much what he's up to now, just doing a podcast with Brendan, which isn't the best sign for a comedian's career. And what makes it even worse for him is it seems like Eric isn't very good at handling jokes. Like recently, he told this story about this Lyft driver he had who called him Mr. Potato Head, which he got offended by and complained about on Twitter and got Lyft to respond. So he kind of had a Tom Segura American Airlines type moment. And this happened a while ago, but he recently talked about it on Legion of Skanks, and it was hilarious because you could tell he thought everybody would agree with him and be on his side, but it sounds like most people just thought it was funny and he was being too sensitive. Like Dave Smith and Bobby Kelly and even the crowd, it sounds like, just thought it was funny.
Oh, Lewis wrote to Lyft?
Oh, it's 100%.
Dude, listen, I was in a Lyft one time, and a lady was being weird. And she says to me, you look like Mr. Potato Head. She said this to me.
Okay. So far making a good point, but all right. What happens next? I'm with you.
So you had an astute
I know what she means, but I mean like time and place. Lee.
Thank you.
You just met the guy.
I just got in your car. I don't know you like this. So I'm like this. I'm tweeting at Lyft. So I'm in your Lyft right now.
Oh, you ratted her out in the car?
Yeah.
Over Mr. Potato Head?
No, it was uncalled for.
Yeah, but it's on the money.
Yeah, but get to know
old,
me.
dude. We're getting
if you
old.
Get into a Lyft and somebody's like, "Oh, you're a fat Patrick Stewart," you would be like, "Hold on."
Yeah, but if someone got in a Lyft and said,
No, but right away, get to know me first.
And they posted this clip to Instagram, and Eric's just getting roasted in the comments. Somebody's like, this is Karen behavior from a comedian, snitching with Griffin. So he tried to cancel his Lyft driver for an innocent joke. Great look. And he said, get to know me first. Bro, you make fun of people without knowing them. Stop being soft if you're a comedian. Yeah, and also it's funny Eric said that because I found a video of him talking about it right when it happened on his podcast. And he said the lady was talking to him quite a bit before she mentioned that. And Eric was just complaining about everything. Like, he was annoyed she didn't help him with his bags.
It's like somebody that don't really want to do this job. So they acting like they your friend. Like, we not friends. You on the job. You working right now. So I need you to act like you working right now. So, all right. So the other day, I called a Lyft, pulls up. It's a girl. First of all, she's blocking the driveway. Other people got to get. I already see that this is going to be a situation. So this is what I don't appreciate. If you're a female driver and you see a big ass bag, I'm not saying you have to lift the bag, but get your ass out the car and act like you're going to lift the bag. Open the trunk up. Lift the trunk and be like, wow, that looks really heavy. And then I could be like, okay, I'll get it. But don't sit in the car. This chick pulls up and sits in the car and don't get out the car. She don't get out the car. She just stays in the car, right? She don't even come around, open the trunk, and be like, oh, wow. No, she just sat in the car. I was like, all right, here we go. So I get in the car, and I like to sit in the front seat because this is a Jetta. You know what I mean? Like, stop acting like you in a limo. You in a Jetta, so go sit in the front seat like a regular person.
Yeah, Andy just sits in the front seat, then gets mad when the driver starts talking to him. He's like, oh, then the interrogation starts. But it sounded like she's just trying to make conversation, which I know some people, they just want to get to their spot. They don't want to talk to anybody, which is understandable. But if you sit next to the driver, I'd imagine they're probably going to try to talk to you. And she's just asking him, where he's going, what he does. So it sounds like she was talking to him quite a bit before she mentioned he looks like Mr. Potato Head. And she only mentioned that once he said he's a comedian. So he was already kind of annoyed with her. But I think he got really offended because she asked him what he's been in, if she's seen him in anything. So Eric listed some things, and her response is, oh, I knew you look familiar. You look like Mr. Potato Head. That's what he's known for, just looking like the character. Like he's a Mr. Potato Head impersonator.
He's like, oh, it's business? It's like, here we go. So the interrogation starts. Okay, no, I'm going, I'm like, yeah, I'm going for business. Oh, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a comedian. I'm going to perform. Mistake. So I tell her that, and she's like, oh, what? Oh, my God, that's great. You a comedian? If I seen you in anything? Now you have to justify your existence to this Lyft driver. Now I got to be like, well, yeah, I've done this and that. And, and then here's where she drops the bomb on me, where I was just like, I don't want to talk to this person anymore. Because she said, oh, you know what? You do look familiar with your glasses and mustache. You look like Mr. Potato Head. Just like that. It wasn't even like she laughed afterwards. It wasn't even like she was like, ha, 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 or trying to be funny. She just straight up was like, yeah, you look like Mr. Potato Head. And I was like, as if Mr. Potato Head is a real person. As if like Mr. Potato Head got in her car one time and she was like, oh, that's Mr. Potato Head. Let me, hey, Mr. Potato Head, where you going? Like, no. So I was like, I shut down. I was like, in my mind, get me to the motherfucking airport. Like,
Yeah, and the fact that she was serious about it makes it even funnier. I mean, as a comedian, how do you not just laugh at that? And now it's a funny story to tell. But Eric, he got offended and went on Twitter while he was still in the car to complain about it. He said, my Lyft driver just said, you look familiar, like Mr. Potato Head. Now I'm silent. Like, just get me to the airport. He also said, this is going to be my very first bad rating. Y'all need an option. Don't talk to me. And I think that is an option now, on Uber at least. Lyft responded and said, we are happy to get this issue taken care of for you. We'll DM you. But I don't know what they could really do about this, unless Eric wants her to get in trouble or something, which would be ridiculous. I guess maybe Lyft would give him a credit or something. Like, I believe Tom Segura, he might have been joking about this, but he claims after the whole American Airlines situation, they gave him some miles. So if you ever work in your job and you're around one of these comedians, you got to be careful, because if you're doing something they don't like, they're going to let your boss hear it. But it sounds like Eric Griffin has always been somebody who's tough to deal with. Like Adam from Workaholics, he talked about how when he first heard that Eric was going to play a character on there, he was really disappointed because he's worked with him in comedy before, and he said it was awful.
Remember you came in, you're like, I just met Montez, and I'm like, oh shit, who? And you were like, Eric Griffin, and I know Eric from doing stand-up, and I'm like, hard pass, absolutely not. No, I'm gonna say the name. No, because Eric is. I've become really good friends with Eric.
Go off.
But Eric is a total asshole.
He's super nice. What?
He's super nice. He's super nice. But when you're coming up in stand up,
He's a bitch.
he was just like really mean.
What?
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
mean?
That is not what I
Are
expected.
you saying, like, was he like checking you kind of thing? Like that kind of comedy guy? Very nice. Just trying to like push you just to test you?
Yeah, no, he's like the sage old vet.
Right.
And he would
Really?
always treat me like the rookie.
Yeah, and it's pretty ironic that's what he's like, because he works with Brendan Schaub. Like, if Eric thinks comedians should put in the work and gain his respect, and if they don't, then he's going to treat him like trash, then what does he think of Brendan, who basically skipped all the beginning steps? Like he just jumped right to a Showtime special. I mean, you would think that would be something Eric hates, but he does a podcast with him, and obviously at this point it doesn't really matter because Brendan's been done with comedy. It hasn't gone very well. But in the beginning, when Brendan put out his first special, I'd imagine Eric wasn't too happy about it and was probably talking some shit. But back to the Mr. Potato Head thing, I saw Eric kind of leaned into it a little bit, like after he talked about it on his podcast and made that tweet. He posted this Mr. Potato Head with his face on it, and also Rick Glassman, I guess, sent him a Mr. Potato Head cup for Christmas, and he made a post about that. So afterwards, he's trying to make a bit out of it and act like he just finds it funny. But if he found it funny, I don't know why he's so upset with that lady. Like Rick Glassman sends Eric a Mr. Potato Head, and it's all just fun. Eric makes a post about it and thinks it's funny. But the Lyft driver who started the bit, she gets a negative review and a complaint to Lyft about it. So that's kind of ridiculous. But let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments. And then make sure to check out my Patreon account if you want to hear about the time Brendan Schaub accidentally exposed Joe Rogan, or the degeneracy of Ari Shaffir, or the time Tim Dillon humbled Whitney Cummings, or just a ton of other stuff. There's a lot on there to go through. So if you're a fan of the channel and want to help support it and get some extra content, make sure you check it out. I'll put a link in the description.